What's up, everybody? It's Steven from A Right to Insight. And when I woke up today, my attention was drawn to this article entitled, Mom Prays, Dead Son Comes Back to Life. Now, as you can assume, that's a very misleading title. It almost makes it sound as if there was like some mother's son was dead and she prayed over him and he miraculously came back to life. It's not quite how it happened. So the headline is definitely misleading. So the real story here is that this 14-year-old boy named John Smith had fallen into an icy lake, and he was in there for like 15 minutes. He died as a result, of course, and then they found him. They brought him to a hospital, and there was doctors performing CPR on him for like 20-something minutes, like 27, 28 minutes. And then he came back to life. Now, the prayer part is that after 27 minutes of unsuccessful CPR, his mother came in and began to pray, and he came back to life because of that. So one thing that they kind of do in the article that's a little silly is they try to make it seem like they stopped performing CPR. I'll read it to you. It says, Dr. Kent Suter and his team performed CPR on John for 27 minutes with no success. The question was raised, how long should they continue? His mother then came into the room and started praying loudly. What happened next defies explanation. Then they go over what his mother said, and then they say his heart restarted. And then so, to me, what they did there is, they performed CPR for 27 minutes, and then they questioned how long they should do it. And then his mom came in and prayed. It almost makes it seem like they stopped performing CPR. I highly fucking doubt it. I'm almost certain that they probably continued, and his mom came in, prayed while they were still doing CPR, and the CPR restarted his fucking heart like it does. And then they're like, oh shit, his mother was praying at the same time. Let's fucking attribute this to prayer. No, that it doesn't work that way. But anyway, the article also talks about... by the way, I'll link to the article below. And I'm sorry I'm clearing my throat so much. There's a bunch of shit in it. But the article talks about some miracles, not only the miracle of the son coming back to life, but also some miracles that happened prior and some stuff like that. And I want to cover those because to me, they're like, I don't even get it. But hush up, would you? So one of the miracles is that the fire department had been practicing ice rescues the week before they pulled John Smith out of the lake. So to me, it's like, okay, it's fucking wintertime. It's probably, they would have said this was a miracle no matter what. Even if this was a month ago, they'd have been like, they were practicing ice rescues, just a month ago, and they pulled him out. Like, that's not a fucking miracle. If that's a miracle to you, your bar on miracles is really fucking low. That is a fucking coincidence. And it's wintertime, so it's not even that crazy of a coincidence. It's just a fucking coincidence. So, whatever. And then the other one is even more like, how the fuck... The other one is that the Dr. Kent Studer, the doctor that was in charge of, John Smith when he was dead in the hospital, his daughter, is in the same class as John. So, and they both go to a Christian school. So, I don't see how that's a fucking miracle. Apparently that's a miracle. I don't get it. Maybe there's something I missed, but apparently that's a miracle. I don't get it. If somebody gets it, please let me know. Another thing I want to point out about this story is everybody in this story is fucking Christian. It's a Baptist hospital. They go to a Christian school. The mother's obviously a Christian. So everyone here is a fucking Christian. That kind of makes you think that, okay, this isn't really coming from an unbiased source. This is like totally Christian, like agenda peddling. Like, oh yeah, look at how powerful prayer is. It's like, no, motherfuckers, you were performing CPR the whole time. Like, it's not prayer that did it. It's fucking CPR. So, it's just silly to me that that they would kind of be, like, lying about, not lying, but, like, leaving details out purposely. That seems like bad reporting. But, anyway... Another thing is, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine when, like, God gets credit that real people deserve. These doctors saved this kid's life. It wasn't God. So why the fuck are we giving credit to God? That makes no fucking sense at all. Because the kid's expectancy of surviving this was low, and he did. That happens all the fucking time. It doesn't mean it's impossible for him to survive, and he came back. If the kid was dead for like 2 days and came back to life, that would be a fucking story. This is not a fucking story. This kind of shit happens, and it happens, okay? This shit happens all the time. So I don't see how the fuck this is a miracle. Like, can you not just report the story as like the happy story that it should be reported as? So anyway, beyond all that shit, there's some comments on the article that I'm linked to, and some of them are pretty funny. And I'll just cover a few of them right now. So I guess there's like some resistance on the article, as there should be, saying the same thing that I'm saying. It's the doctors and the nurses and everybody who's responsible for this kid's life being saved. So one person tried to refute that, and he said, who is to say God wasn't working through those paramedics, nurses, and doctors? Well, the question here actually is, who's to say that he was? Because the default reasonable position is to say that he was not. It's the doctors that did it, and there's no evidence of God. So how is that a reasonable fucking stance to take? So the real question there, sir, is who's to say he was working through those fucking paramedics, nurses, and doctors? Then there's one that actually goes against this story that I actually agree with a lot. It says, so the power of prayer worked for her, but not for every other believing parent faced with losing a child. That's nice. And exactly, I completely agree. When it comes to Christianity, they'll talk all day about their success stories on prayer, even though this has nothing to do with prayer. But they don't mention their failures. And there's plenty of times when Christian parents had children that were dying or were dead. They prayed about it and nothing fucking came of it. What about those? Did God just turn a blind eye? He didn't think those kids deserved to be alive, or were the parents not true Christians? What's your fucking story there? Because that's kind of bullshit. And if God does exist, then that's fucked up of him. So yeah, I agree with that. And then there was one other one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. There's power in prayer. God is good. And I love this one because it's like, if God's so fucking good, why did he allow this kid to fall in the fucking lake in the first place? And some people will say, oh, that's free will, or oh, that's Satan did it, or something stupid like that. If it's free will, okay, whatever. Then I guess I don't really have an argument there. I guess my argument in response for the free will thing is, why is there icy lakes to begin with for kids to fall into then? If it's the Satan did it argument, then my question is, why the fuck did God create Satan? That's kind of, I mean, that's a question anyway in and of itself. Why did God create something so evil that it could alter his plan? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So, yeah, I don't fucking get it. But, so that's the story. I'll link to the article below, like I said. If you agree, disagree, like, comment, let us know your thoughts. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. We're trying to get this channel off the ground. And thanks for watching, guys.